I got a video. Thank you. Come on.
Oh, hey!
Mike, hey, no, Mike. Mike, get out of it, Mike.
Just move. Just.
Mike, don't move. Mike, no, going that way. Holy shit, that son of a bitch. See guys?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As before we get started with the XRP content for the day, I have to give you a firm bull run warning on one of my favorite cryptos on the planet. Jupiter, being the largest DeFi exchange on Solana, is going to make millionaires in my personal opinion. And July will be a massive month that will define the shape of the Jupiverse for years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend you follow Meow and Jupiter Exchange on Twitter. And I highly recommend you get an entry at these levels, as these are the lowest levels I've been able to provide for the XRP community over the past couple months, aside from the 50 cent entry that I called for all of you a little while ago. The price has retraced to an immaculate entry point for every single one of you, and I can't stress that enough. Now, we have a lot to discuss for the day, but we're going to start off here with Alessio Rastani making an XRP video calling for a 13-cent XRP price. This is probably the most bearish XRP video I've seen in a long time. And this is a firm warning for the XRP army. More and more videos like this, and more charts like this, and more tweets like this will be coming out in the coming days, weeks, and months from Bitcoin prominent people. And the reason being is because XRP is about to take off. This is what I mean. We are nearing the end of a 7-year-long suppressed price for XRP. We are coming to the conclusion of this SEC case for XRP. We already have that it's deemed a non-security in every way, shape, or form. We already have it relisted on all exchanges. I made a video in March providing you 100 reasons why XRP will hit new all-time highs this year. A Ripple stablecoin is coming out in alignment with MiCA regulations. And as a direct response, Tether is being delisted from exchanges like Uphold, for example. And you really mean to tell me that with automated market makers live, with a Ripple stablecoin coming, with a relisting on all exchanges, with an XRP ETF being discussed in the highest levels, that we're going to 13 cents? You must be out your fucking mind. I will repeat, we are in a confirmed bull market. There is almost nothing that can happen that will send us to those levels. And if we happen to get there, it is because some level of Blackswan-like event that has nothing to do with XRP at all is going to send us there. I've talked about the Tether potential debacle. I've talked about different war tensions, cyber attack scenarios, different things that could happen in the world. And I'm going to get to another one that could happen that I think is actually very probable later in this video. But ladies and gentlemen, for XRP to be posted as a singular digital asset that's going to absolutely implode, this is idiotic. And this, in my opinion, is someone getting to Alessio Rastani and saying, hey, make this XRP FUD video right now. We don't like that this thing is looking too good for the people. And that's when all of you need to decipher the lizard talk. You have to know the news for the masses versus the news for the classes. The masses are meant to be manipulated. They're meant to be swayed in the opposite direction of where we're actually going. And the classes already are positioned long in advance. And the assets that are going to make life-changing gains. All of you know this. All of you understand this. And I do think this is a firm example of that in real time. But what I'll ask all of you to do is to watch this video objectively. Because quite frankly, I'm not self-righteous here. Look at the FUD video. Look at his chart analysis. Because when things like this get posted, we need to hold them accountable if they are incorrect unbelievably. And in the same breath, I'm absolutely exhausted of the anti-XRP sentiment. Hell, we even saw Brad Garlinghouse having to check CoinDesk for falsely purporting different narratives on their website. The entire crypto community has treated the XRP army and XRP, the digital asset itself, as a pariah. And it's because they know it's a legitimate threat to everything they believe they stand for. Now, I can't stress this enough as we continue and see that Bitstamp, who, by the way, Ripple purchased a good position in, Bitstamp is dropping their Tether Euro stablecoin, referencing MiCA regulations. Yet again, this is another exchange that is dropping Tether because of stablecoin regulations. Tether is a ticking time bomb in the crypto space. And I'll stress this again and again and again. Remember what happened with UST and Terra back May 2022. We had the stablecoin debacle causing a massive bear market. Tether is the ticking time bomb in crypto that could cause the market to crash randomly just because. That doesn't mean crypto is bad. It means that a singular actor is bad. Hell, we even saw USDC get depegged for a while because of the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. So just imagine, we go in a bull market, you take your profits into Tether, and then that stupid stablecoin collapses, and you're left with no profits because you executed correctly but put it in a scam? That right there would be bullshit. So all I ask you to do is to use the proper stablecoins like USDC, for example. And all I ask you to do is to have this information in your mind. Have an open eye. Have some raised eyebrows. And anyone that's over here actively trying to tell you that Tether has no question marks around it, you should question them. What is it with people trying to defend Tether as a stable coin with their livelihood? I've heard it from some of the biggest crypto accounts that I actually respect. Why the fuck are you defending Tether like it's not a racket? What are you trying to defend? Everyone hates fiat, but you defend the crypto fiat? Fiat is a scam, but the crypto version of that same fiat is even more of a scam. Stop defending a double scam. I've never understood the defense of Tether. Just keep an open eye. I can't stress that enough. And here, before we continue with anything else, I have the Blackswan capitalist Verson speaking with the real Rick Rule about the evolution of the monetary system and the financial institutions like the World Gold Council, Bank for International Settlements, and IMF's interest in distributed ledger technology. And I want you all to listen to this quick clip about the tokenization of assets and gold specifically, and how XRP and potentially Stellar could be used and integrated in this new system.
What are your thoughts on Ripple and the digital asset XRP?
I'm fascinated with the application of blockchain technology in the financialization of all markets. I can confirm firsthand that the World Gold Council and the Royal Canadian Mint are similarly fascinated.
Yeah.
And the idea that you could have a digital token that represented physical gold could be exchanged for physical gold, but could enjoy lower denomination, more liquidity, and less transaction cost is, I think, a reality in the not very distant future. Whether or not XRP is the technology that is going to be adopted. I similarly have noted in the quarterly from the Bank for International Settlements, to which I subscribe, their own interest in XRP. And it was interesting for me to hear it from younger, smarter people than I, like you. And I wouldn't want to comment on the technology because that's not what I do. I'm a lender. The idea that we will soon have a gold token, well, hopefully we'll have 4 or 5 so that they can compete with each other. I think I think it's both inevitable and I think it's imminent.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, with all that context in your minds in regards to the digital asset space and specifically XRP, I'm going to bring you to the second part of this video and get political very quickly, because you need to understand what's happening is historic. Blockchain Backer posted something very interesting. This was the first presidential debate in history, where presidential debates take place usually in September, October. This was the earliest one we've ever had, and there's a reason it happened in June. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that this is a major reason why Joe Biden is no longer fit to be president. He put on a shit show display and everyone knows it. And the Democratic Party ran him out to show that he is not fit early so that they can replace him. Even Barack Obama stated that bad debate nights happen. But this election is still a choice between someone who has fought for ordinary folks his entire life and someone who cares only about himself. As he continues to support Joe Biden, what you need to realize is that the admission by the Democratic Party right now of how bad Joe Biden is a spectacle to behold. And here is a compilation of some of the worst moments he had on that debate stage.
But you continue to provoke.
It's so sad.
We got it down to 35. We got to significantly increase the credit. The idea, if you lose again,
I will absolutely. There's nothing I'd rather do.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up.
Ever with me. And he's going to take
how much prescriptions they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal deficit.
We are very, very close to World War III.
But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. That he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay,
let's not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn.
Let's not act like children.
To a specific concern.
I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it.
Like any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just have the money, but now they'll be able to get.
Oh, I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good.
Out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord, we reached 1.5 degrees Celsius.
And China, nothing. And Russia, nothing. And India, nothing.
We provided thousands of millions of jobs. We have covered, if the ACA has increased, I made sure that they're $8,000. The idea that we're not doing anything, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on. Malfeasance of this. In addition to
likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and Black Americans are.
And I spoke all about those.
I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country.
On the total initiative. What's he going to do, in fact, if they
destroy our country?
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block.
Elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires.
Now here, the reason why that's also so important is because Different news networks that are more liberal minded are also turning against him, further providing more evidence that he is not going to be their choice. And this is why I'm talking about this. Because there will be no bigger Black Swan style event in the real world than having a president step down at this stage of an election cycle, when the Young Turks are calling out Joe Biden, when ABC is calling out Joe Biden. You know it's very, very bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress this enough. This is the moment in time we're in, and you have to expect the unexpected.
What he could do if he were to win re-election again, but then there were those moments where he would pivot to another topic, or he would seem to lose his train of thought a little bit. The question is, how did it land? How are voters perceiving this? And that is what we really need to see now in the coming days.
David, I think we have to be very clear. This was a very bad night for Joe Biden. I have been talking to Democrats as this debate progressed, and you are starting to see here, at least privately, discussions among Democrats about whether or not Biden can effectively go on with this campaign against Donald Trump. Donald Trump did go through rapid-fire lies. I mean, a machine gun of lies at times during this debate. He said things like everybody wanted Roe v. Wade repealed, that everything was rocking good when he was president. There were no wars. The Unselect Committee deleted all the evidence that Nancy Pelosi refused 10,000 National Guard troops. None of that was true, and Biden was not effectively able to bring the argument back to him. I talked to one Democratic member of Congress who is a strong supporter up till now of Joe Biden, saying to me, I am in a state of shock. He is diminished to an extent that has become undeniable. Biden's going to have to answer these questions. This was not just one night in the campaign. This was the night in the campaign so far. Another Democrat said, I wish this performance had been during the Democratic primary. If it were, we would have had a different nominee.
No question in your mind, given what you're hearing from your sources, that this is a conversation that's now underway.
It's a conversation that is being conducted privately at this point, David. The big question is, will any of it become public? Because it is very difficult to imagine a scenario where Biden can be replaced as the nominee. You would have to somehow open up the convention. Biden would have to, be the one leading it and saying, I'm going to release my delegates. There's absolutely no indication that he is willing to do this. And no Democrat is going to want to further damage Biden beyond what we saw tonight by being the first to come out and say that publicly, unless it's determined that there is truly a viable path to find another nominee.
And certainly we don't want to get ahead of ourselves as reporters either. So
now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing is them laying the foundation for a replacement. And the only reason I bring this up is this would be the volatility we need as far as the state of America is concerned, to see different candidates take shape, unease to take shape. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what you need to see. The Democrats are personally turning on their own candidate because a replacement is underway. This is a prediction that I think will go down in history as one of the more easier ones to see from afar. And I think it's pretty obvious to a lot of people that Biden's unfit. Whatever candidate they select for all of you is going to lead to more overall volatility in the American political landscape. We are sleepwalking into World War III, and there have been indications that we may be in a modern version of a civil war because of the polarization here in the States, because of very hot topic issues. We're the most divided we've been in a long time. And all I'm warning all of you in the XRP community is to pay attention, be prepared, don't get emotional or lose focus, and simply look at how the cards fall because you've known what was going to happen well in advance. And finally, with all that being said, to cap off this video for today, I have John Deaton going on an absolute tirade, checking Elizabeth Warren, checking all of her special interest groups, calling her out on all her nonsense. She is balls deep banking cartel. and we need the crypto space to thrive. John Deaton and some current Republicans are indicators that crypto is going to be a hot button issue. Look at where the cards fall in regards to your candidates in the crypto space, and that is one of the most important decisions you can make. And all I say for the next stage of the market cycle we're in is to hold on to your hats. For the past 4 election cycles, we've seen a crypto bull run. 2008 to 2009, 2012 to 2013, 2016 to 2017, 2020 to 2021, and here we're seeing another one in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
You went to the border. What did you see?
I was shocked. And I saw the problem here, and I wanted to get to the root of it. And interestingly, 25 years ago, Howie, I was at Yuma, Arizona in the Marine Corps, and there's a picture of me because I was involved in drug bust. I was the chief prosecutor for the base, and the cartel was using young Marines, to be mules right through the border. And I was shocked that 25 years later that it is so far worse. And let me tell you what I learned. I learned that 50% of the fentanyl that makes its way into the Commonwealth is coming from the Yuma crossing alone. I learned that they have literal bus stops, right? I call them bus stops, but there's these locations where the migrants come and they don't run. They wait, and a van picks them up and takes them to the processing center in Howie. They're released within 24 to 30 hours. And you want to know what court date they're given? 2032.
Well, it's like this guy, this rapist in Queens.
Yeah, it's insane. And when you see, I learned that when you count getaways, 12 million illegal migrants have crossed the border. 12 million. So even if you say the vast majority, you can take a number as 99%. 99% are people who just want a better life. At 12 million, 1 out of 100 is 120,000 bad guys crossing the border. It's a national security, crisis. And when you leave the border, Howie, and you see what's happening, it's hard not to walk away thinking that it's intentional because it's shocking. It's shocking.